By the way, this is going to be a long video, so if you want to go and get a drink now, I'll wait. Okay. Hello, so for today's video, this is going to be a full glam, yes, full glam, drugstore makeup look. I'm just like feeling full glam at the minute, and I thought, well, hang on a minute, let me like do a drugstore version, you know, because drugstore is amazing and we get amazing products, and I really want to, like, you know, show you some good products that you can get for obviously a reasonable price rather than extortionate. So yeah, and also at the end of this tutorial I'm going to list some like other drugstore products that I love and what I recommend, because say like I'm using a foundation today and you're like, well, I don't really like that foundation, then I have some other foundations to recommend to you, some like concealers, some eye products, things like that, so you can get a whole good look at what I enjoy really. So yeah, we're going to start. So for brows, I've done this yesterday, and this is the Revolution brow tint. So this is in shade Taupe, and I love this. This is like my go-to brow if I'm doing a full glam look. Like I'm like, oh, I just want to, you know, get the brows on this, because with it, like, it's like my brows are already done. Like I could go in with like, you know, a bit of like brow gel, a bit of brow soap, maybe take like a bit of pencil and fill in like the tiniest bits, and they're done. That's why I love this. Like, if you're going to buy anything throughout this, I highly recommend this. This is like the best £4 I've ever spent in my life. Really good. I know like Maybelline do one. Maybelline probably have some more range of colours. Like Taupe can be a little bit too dark. Like this, say like for instance, when you do it, you put it on and you peel it off. Like you can peel it off basically when it's dry, so it's anywhere from like 20 minutes to 2 hours. So I leave it on for 2 hours because I want like the maximum tint. And so you're like, oh, I'll do it before I go out. They can get a little bit dark. Usually like if you shower and wash your face, like they sort of glide down a bit, and this is what you end up with. But yesterday they were dark. I'll link like a video of me like peeling it off so you can see like how dark they was. So Taupe is fine, but if I could go a lighter shade I would, but I don't think Revolution have that many shades in it. Hopefully they expand because it's so good, but if not, like I said, Maybelline do it. But obviously Maybelline, I think like Maybelline's like 12, like compared to 4, you know, and it does the same thing. So I know I've rambled enough about that. So I am going to take brow soap. So this is the Revolution makeup, yet again, soap brow. Literally just looks like this. This is so beat up. You can take like a block of soap, you can take whatever, and you're like good to go. So I do spritz it with water, so I'm just going to do that. Then I just take a spoolie and I literally just go into the soap and just flick this through. So I mean about how great it is, like bit of brow soap and they look more alive, like they don't look so flat. That's why I also love brow soap, like it's one of my favourites, is what I use all the time, hence why it's like completely and utterly beat up. I need to purchase a new one. I really love this. Then to just fill in any little bits that I feel like necessary, I'm going to take the NYX Micro Brow Pencil in the shade Taupe as well. Taupe is like my typical shade for a brow product. It's what I like the best. And I can just sort of go in. Just give a bit of this action. Like literally not much effort at all. Just to make sure it just looks more like literally a full brow. Obviously if you don't like a full brow, you don't have to take a full brow. So I don't have an eye base. You can just take concealer and just do it that way, obviously, because then you're buying a concealer, you're good to go just to stick it on the eyes. You can stick foundation on the eyes, you can stick whatever you want on the eyes. If you don't want to buy a base, obviously this is just more reasonable. So the concealer I'm going to use is the Revlon Candid concealer, Photoready Candid concealer, sorry, in 010 Vanilla. I'm literally just going to put a few dots of this on the eyes like so, and just pat out with my fingers. So for palettes today, I'm going to take the Friends and Makeup Revolution. This is the, I can never remember the name, it's in the bottom bar, but it's like the Ultimate Flawless Limitless something palette. It's the only one that looks like this. They have a few, obviously this is the Friends one, they have a few that have this like similar layout. So if you don't want the Friends one, you can go ahead and pick anyone you want, but you get 3 highlighters and then you get all your shadows. I am going to use the highlighter from the palette because it is so good, but like I said, obviously at the end you'll see other highlighters and stuff, so if you didn't want to purchase this, don't worry, I have literally like, it's not even a dupe, to be honest, for the highlighters. They're in the centre, like they literally match. But obviously I'll talk about that in the end because I'm rambling. So I'm going to take Mr. Heckles, which is this one right here, just to highlight the brow bone. So I'm going to take that on a Crown Brush C510. Okay, to start, I'm going to take Julie from the palette, which is this one here, and I'm going to take that on a Spectrum A17. This is wearing off. I love Spectrum brushes. And I'm just going to basically take this through the crease. Actually, I say crease, it's like more like the socket area. And just stamp that on the outer corner as well. Only a little bit because we are going to cut the crease. So then we have something like this. So I'm just going to blend this out a little bit further using the Sigma E36, just slightly. Then I'm going to pick up a tiny bit of Julie on the Sigma brush and just go in and just buff that through. Then going over, I'm going to take Phoebe, which is this shade up here. And I'm going to take that on the Sigma brush. And we're basically going to go around the Julie shade. I'll try to and not get it in the Julie shade, but we can just go ahead and add more. Now taking a fluffy clean brush, just buff this through slightly. And now I'm going to take a bit more of, do you know what I'm going to do? Yeah, I'm going to mix. So I'm going to take a little bit of Julie and a little bit of Joey, I think this is the shade. And yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and just add that back through. And then just buff that out with the Sigma brush again. So now I'm going to cut the crease. So I'm going to take the same concealer and take a Peaches and Cream. This is a PC51 brush. Stamp a little bit of this down. Look up. See that tiny line where that sits is where I'm going to cut our crease to. So I literally just take this. I'm just going to open my mirror first. Yeah, and then we're just going to stamp along. And when we get to where we want to finish, we'll just sort of pull it down and just go ahead and like fill out the rest. Then you can either take your finger or take a brush, and I'm just going to pat this out just so we can get it to be like it's driest and it's not too wet and we don't get any more transfer. Now I'm going to take my Sigma brush and just do a little bit of blending work for now. So I just blend in this Julie and Joey colour into the concealer. And also take your finger and just pat. So yeah, I'm going to go into Emily now to put on the eyelids. So this one right here. And I'm going to take that on a Peaches and Cream PC41 brush. I'm going to put this all over the lid. I am trying to use affordable brushes because obviously brushes aren't cheap when you buy them by the bundle. Even if say like you bought one brush a month, and like Spectrum are my go-to brand, like you can probably get a brush from them from £4 to their like eyeshadow ones are probably about £8-9 quid to like a face brush. So even if you're like once a month just buy one brush, I'm not saying like go out and buy like a £600 brush collection, like just slowly build it up. Like it's taken me years to build up my brush collection. So yeah, like just they are worth it. But obviously if you can't afford it, that's fine. I'm not saying like, oh yes, go out and buy like the whole Sigma like 100 brushes. Like just buy one. Like if you think I really like that brush and I really want that in my collection, buy it. And now I'm just gonna do some more blending. So I'm just taking that Sigma brush. Just, it's mainly the outer corner like this. I want to stay as crisp as possible. You can also take the brush that you used to put on like lid shade, and you can just sort of drag it over and take a little bit more product if you want and stuff. So I am going to add like a little bit of gold to like the top. You can obviously take a gold glitter or gold liner, whatever. I'm going to go into Frank from the palette, which is this shade, and I'm going to take that on a Sigma EO6 brush. I'm going to draw this like above the purple. I know it's like still a little bit of a bright eye, but I love like this kind of eye, like that sunset-y vibe. Obviously there are some nudes in the palette. You can try whatever you want. You can do whatever for this look. It is so simple to do. That's why I've done it. So yeah, I'm going to apply lashes and mascara off camera. So the mascara I have is from Spectrum, and this is the mascara in Dark Matter. This is actually the only drugstore mascara that I have. Like my L'Oreal one in Double Extension Waterproof, I used to love it, but it's like old, and I'm like, I don't know if I want to repurchase that one or try a different one. So yeah, I don't have a lot of mascaras. I have like 4 at best, because mascara to me is just mascara. It does all the same job. So yeah, but a really good mascara, like really good. And I'm going to take the Kiss lashes in the style Val, which would look like so. And this is like the Naked Drama collection. Obviously if you want something a little bit bolder, go for a different Kiss lash. Kiss have the best lashes in my opinion for the drugstore. I'm also using Kiss lash glue right here. Really good lash glue. If you're like unsure, like don't go out and buy a full tube. You get like a small one with the lashes usually. So like try it out, and if you love it, go for this. Hello lighting, thank you. Yeah, and then if not, Eyelure do great ones. Ardell, I like Ardell, but they're not like my favourite. Like Kiss or Eyelure are the best for the drugstore. So yeah, I'm going to do that off camera, obviously complete the other eye, and then I'll come back and we can do the base. Okay, so lashes are on, and we're going to move on to base now. So first of all, we're going to take the Nip and Fab Rose Gold Essence. Just dribble this all over the face. And just rub that in. For foundation today, I am going to mix 2. So I have the e.l.f. Flawless Finish Foundation in Porcelain. This isn't actually called Porcelain anymore. They changed the name ages ago, and I just obviously haven't finished this. Like she's nearly gone. And the Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless in 120, because I have got a slight bit of self tanner on. I love this foundation on its own, but this combined is like better than this on its own, and that's why I love them together. This I hate on its own. So say if you like have this and you're like, oh, I don't like it, what am I gonna do? Try mixing it with like a dewier foundation, and honestly like it changes it completely. So I'm just going to mix that onto a palette, and then we'll start putting that on the face. I'm just taking that all over the face with a Spectrum A03. Then I'm going to buff that out with the Spectrum B01. Obviously you don't have to take 2 brushes, I was just mixing it in. I never usually do, I usually just mix it in with my finger and apply it that way, but I just don't want to get all my fingers messy because my nails are growing and foundation just gets in the nails and it's a hot mess. If you want to take a damp sponge, Real Techniques fantastic, Eco Tools fantastic. You don't need a beauty blender, but if you want to invest in a beauty blender, they are great, but obviously you have a million other sponges. So for concealer, I'm going to take the Revlon one. I love this. This is like one of my top tier concealers. Like it is so good. So I'm just going to take a bit of that on the under eyes. I like to take it like down. So just taking that along the forehead, and then like bring it in and take it down the nose, a bit on the cupid's eye, and then like across the chin as well. Then to contour, I'm going to take the Rimmel Instant Duo Contour Stick. I love this. See, I've hardly got any left. It also comes with a highlighter side, but I'm not going to use this today because it's like a pinky tone, and I'm going for like a more that golden shade that we use like on the brow highlight. But nonetheless, it is beautiful. Like it is such a good highlight. So if you're like, you think I'm only using it for this, I'm not. Like they're both so good. So I'm just going to take that around the forehead. Oops, went a bit wonky on my nose there, but it's fine. So I just took that around the forehead, the cheeks, the lip area, and then down the nose, which is hella wonky, but it's fine. So to blend that out, I'm going to take the Spectrum B05. This is part of their Disney range, but I believe it was the... Was it Little Mermaid? I can't remember now, but I'm just going to buff this out. I typically just buff all of my nose out with the highlighter, same with my lip. I'm not overly bothered because it just sort of blends into one and just works better. To blend out my concealer, I'm going to take the Spectrum B03 and just pat this in. With this concealer, it does dry pretty quick, but it's so like blendable that even if it's dried quick, it just blends out like so easy. I love it. Then to set the under eyes, I'm going to take the e.l.f. Halo Glow setting powder. Yeah, no, I'm not going to set the entire face just yet because I've got some liquid blush to apply. This is such a good powder. It kind of reminds me of the Cover FX setting powder. Like it has like a hint of glow, but not too glowy, you know, like it's not like if you're oily like you're going to really see it. But yeah, so good. I'm just going to bake like the contour area, so I'm just going to try my best to keep this as straight as I can. So to add a little bit more contour, I'm going to go into the Wet n Wild. This is the Megaglo contouring palette. So you can get this from Beauty Bay, and I believe Boots now stock Wet n Wild. So it is obviously easy accessible. Like it's not just like for the States anymore. Like they've sort of made their way over. And we're going to contour. So I'm just going to use this line as a guide as to where I should. Just taking that on the cheeks and the forehead. Then for bronzer, I'm going to take the Maybelline City Bronzer, and this is in medium 250. So this is like a contour bronzer side. So say like you wanted to skip the entire contour, you could just pick up this, but I love this. I'm picking up the wrong brush. I love this as a bronzer. I think it's fantastic. So I'm going to take that on a Spectrum C07. Just bronze up the cheeks and around the forehead as well. So I know I put like a bit of bronzer on, but the rest of my face should hopefully be okay. But I'm going to take the B Dot by Superdrug. So this is their liquid blush in Apricot. This is really, really pretty. I'm just going to take, oh god, too much on the back of my hand, and just take a bit of this and almost come like out like this with it. Oh, super pretty that. And I'm going to add just a little bit more blush. Like I said, it is full glam, so, you know. I'm going to take the Milani Baked Blush in Luminoso and just add a little bit of that on top, just to like almost set it so we know it won't move. Plus we know we just got a bit more blush and a bit more juicy. This liquid blush is so good, by the way. I highly recommend this. So go back into palette, I'm going to take Mr. Heckles and use this as my face highlight. So I'm going to take that on a Crown Brush C529. Just put this on tops of the cheeks. Then on a Spectrum A12, taking Mr. Heckles again and popping that on the inner corners. And a little bit down the nose as well. And then we're going to finish the eyes. So I'm going to take a bit of Julie and Joey on the Sigma brush and just buff this along the bottom. Just buff that out a little with the Crown Brush. Then going into Phoebe with that same Sigma brush again and just sort of go ahead and take that with it, almost connecting it back through to this bit. Then I'm going to just take some Lash mascara. So yeah, again the Spectrum one, but you can see none as you can see it's on my head. Then I'm just going to dust away this bake. Then to finish it off, I'm going to take some Revolution skincare. This is the Hyaluronic Hydrating Essence Spray. I always say this is like MAC Fix Plus, but 10 times better and 10 times cheaper. So I'm just going to spritz this on. okay, so I don't have like a good setting spray. Like, to me that's like a finishing kind of mist. I literally have one from Lottie London because it's so fruity and my skin reacts really bad to fruit for some reason. I just can't use it. So yeah, I don't have one. The one I typically use is Morphe, and I know Morphe's not exactly affordable, but if you can, a lot of the time they have them on sale, so keep your eye out for that. But if not, like, I know like Milani's supposed to have a good one. I keep meaning to buy it and I never do, but yeah. Anyway, so I'm going to take the BH Cosmetics. This is the waterproof lip liner in Earth. These are so good. Like, I forgot how good these are. I've had them for ages. Obviously you can get BH Cosmetics on Beauty Bay now. If you do buy from the website, I believe you do get hit with custom charges. I don't know if it's the same. Like, I haven't bought from them in years. I just go to Beauty Bay. But yeah, really good brand. So I'm just gonna line my lips. I love Earth and I also love Strip. Like, Strip's another good one. I literally have two of them. They're very similar to like the Kylie Cosmetics lip liners, how they glide, the style, everything. So I've just filled in like my entire lip with this, and now I'm going to take the MUA, so this is the Makeup Academy lipstick in the shade Bare. It's like poorly made, don't get me wrong, like it all falls apart and stuff, but this is such a good lipstick, and I swear it's like £1 to maybe £2, and it's a really, really pretty nude shade. So I'm just going to put that on top. Put that out a little bit. Oh yeah. And then I know this is like shiny, so you could leave it as that, but I'm a gloss girl, so I'm going to take the Revolution Rachel wait, let me say that again. The Makeup Revolution Friends gloss in the shade Rachel. It's just a clear gloss, but it is so good. These little ones that they come in, they have like they're called shimmer bombs, I think, are amazing from Makeup Revolution, and they smell better. Like, the shimmer bombs smell like watermelon ish kind of things. Like, these don't smell that great, but I can look past the scent because it's so good. Even if you're not a fan of Friends, like, I'm not particularly in love with Friends anymore like I used to be. Even if you're not, like, this is just a good gloss on itself. Like, it doesn't have to be because you're a fan. So good. So yes, this is the completed look, and I love how this turned out. I just think it's super beautiful, something, you know, fun, fully glam, and ready to go. So some other goodies that I recommend drugstore wise. So I'm going to talk about all the foundations. It's free. So first of all, I had the NYX Born to Glow. This is such a good foundation, and if you're thinking like, oh, like I'm a bit oily, don't be too worried, because it's not like too glowy. Like, it's almost like borderline satin, and I love a satin finish foundation. I think they are the best foundations. Such a good one, and this is a really good shade match for me. This is Pale, and I believe it's fair with yellow undertones, which I do prefer in a foundation. Then we have the Sleek Life Proof foundation. So this is LP3, and this is a little bit too yellow for me. Yet again, a really good shade range with this. I have like 50, I believe. Like, I feel like no one talks about this. The concealer's also really good, but I haven't got the concealer to mention. But if you're like looking to like pair up as a company, if you wanted to, yeah, really, really good. Then we have the L'Oreal Infallible 24 Hour Fresh Wear. Yet again, amazing foundation. The best thing about this is that it's like medium to full coverage, but it's like so lightweight. Like, when you pump it out, like, you think, oh, it's going to be like thick because it's full, where it's like really liquidy. It's the strangest thing, because you're like, oh, it's going to be like a low coverage, but it's not. It honestly just feels like air on the skin. It's so good. The only thing that throws me off is the scent. It is quite fragrant, so I wouldn't recommend personally, if you have like sensitive skin like me, to like fragrance and fruits and stuff. I would not really recommend to wear this like all the time, but it is a really good foundation. Then we have concealer. So we have the ELF hydrating on the emphasis here, Cameo Concealer. This is really, really good. I only used this a few times. Like, I done a full testing drugstore video not that long ago. I emphasis on the hydrating because they have ELF Cameo Concealer, which I hated. I did not like it. I was like, it's like Tarte Shape Tape. Why I thought I'd like that, I don't know, because I don't like Tarte Shape Tape whatsoever. But the hydrating one is so good because, yet again, it's that satin finish, which I love. Then we have the Makeup Revolution Conceal and Hydrate. Yet again, emphasis on the hydrate because they have Conceal and Define, which I did really enjoy for a long time. But I think it was like giving me milias under my eyes. Like, I've had I had like a lot of issues and I was like, what is it? And I think it was the concealer because I was like using it consistently, but the Hydrate one is so much better. Yeah, again, just really, really good. Yeah, it just doesn't do what you want a concealer to do, you know, like it doesn't crease, it doesn't look weird. Well, I mean, it's going to crease a little bit because obviously you're talking, your eyes are moving and stuff, like it happens, but such a good concealer. And then we have the Colourpop No Filter Concealer. So I know Colourpop is a little bit difficult to get in the UK. Obviously we can ship over, and if you do buy from Colourpop, the great thing about it is they charge you shipping obviously on top. I think if you spend so much you get it free, but they charge you your taxes, import, all of that stuff with the order. So when it arrived, you haven't got to, you know, trek to the post office and pay their fees and pay more fees on top because they've opened it, blah 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 blah. So yeah, this is light 16 I have in my hand, which I would use if I had self tanner, but I'm usually Fair 08 as my pale shade. But yet again, a really good concealer. This is more matte-ish, I'd say, but yet again, it's just, it looks good on the skin, like really good. I mean, I've gone through quite a bit of light 16. I have 2 Fair 08s. Fair 08's nearly gone, and then I bought Fair 00, which is like a white because I wanted it for like the base and stuff. But say like you're like, I want to buy from Colourpop, I don't know what to buy. The one thing I will always recommend is the Super Shock shadows. They are the best of the best from Colourpop. You will never be disappointed if you get a Super Shock shadow. Let me just show you one, for instance. So this is the shade Bubbly. She's pink, and this did arrive to me broken, but it's the only time I've had broken products from Colourpop. And if you can see it there, it's just super shimmery, super pretty, really, really gorgeous. I have a few of these. I have from the Raw Beauty Christie collection. They are amazing. I just bought like a bundle. You should see a haul coming soon, so you'll see all of that. But yeah, I highly recommend the Super Shock shadows. And oh my god, I need to make sure you seal them up tight because they can dry out. When it arrived to me crack, I fixed it with alcohol and I had no issues. Like, it's still gleaming, it's still really, really pretty. So yeah, God, I'm eating my hair here. I highly recommend the Super Shock shadows, but the concealer is bomb. But obviously if you're like picky with concealers, which I am, don't go for like face products first. Deep into, you know, something else. What should we talk about? We'll talk about bronzers. So I have the Milani baked bronzer in Dulce. Yet again, really good. I recommend the blushes over the bronzers if you're like going to pick between one. The blushes are amazing. Yeah, again, I think they have it on Beauty Bay. I believe they have it on Beauty Bay. And Milani have a UK website as well now if you like wanted to go on the website. I mean, a lot of people are not onto online shopping because they're like, oh, I don't really know what shade and stuff. But you know, like usually they are pretty helpful with telling you your shade now. So if you're like worried, just go and have a look. Obviously, if not, Superdrug and Boots are just as good. Then we have the BH Cosmetics. This is the Brilliance bronzer in Golden Gal. I love this bronzer. Like, I didn't mention it in my 2020 favourites because I mentioned it last year, and I don't want everything to be too repetitive because I know I was throwing in some oldies. But I would like say if there's like no bronzers left, I'd probably, oh, I don't know, because I do love the Maybelline one that I used today, but this is like really, really good. I highly recommend it. I believe they have a pretty good shade range as well for this, so I highly recommend. Then we have the Flower Beauty, so you can get this from Superdrug now, and this is the Flower Pots powder blush in a peach primrose. Yet again, a really pretty peachy blush. I love a peachy blush, super beautiful. This is a little bit more pigmented than a sort of typical blush, sorry, so do be careful when using it, but so pretty. Then we also have the Lottie London. This is the ombre blush in the shade Serene, and you can, I think you can kind of see like that ombre effect. It's not too bad, so it's got a little bit darker and then a little bit pinkier, and this is, believe it or not, it's kind of peachy, which is my typical shade. I'm getting glossy in my hair because of everything on the back of my hand. But yeah, really pretty blush. This blush is blush, like it's just good, you know. Super pretty. They have some really good eyeliners. I think they're called AM to PM, and it's, I can't remember the shade, it's like this mermaidy blue. Oh, it is super yummy. I don't think I picked that out, but it's really good, like highly recommend. Then for eyeshadow palettes, I have the Makeup Revolution one, because the Big Friends one is £20 and I know it is quite a lot, but because of the highlighter shades, and the highlighter shades are beautiful, I feel like it's worth that 20 quid, like it's worth that extra splurge. But if you didn't want to, these are fantastic, and these are only 4 quid. Well, I believe they're still £4 anyway. This is the palette in neutrals too. I do have another one which is Prerogative, which I think is more pinky tones. So beautiful, just blend out like a dream. You get this similar eye look with like this sort of palette as well, like the purples and the oranges and stuff. Really, really pretty. I love these palettes, they are so good. Then we have the e.l.f. I think these are like the bite-sized palettes, and this is in the shade Berry Bad, which I think is so adorable. And you just get 4 little eyeshadows, so you get 2 mattes and 2 shimmers in this one. I believe it's the same throughout all of them, but like say this isn't your kind of style, they just come out with this mint collection and it looks so beautiful. And these are like 3 quid, I believe 3. I think 3, yeah, which is obviously super affordable. And say you're like not big on makeup and you're like, oh, I just want to dabble into like reds, £3 is fantastic for you to do that, because then you can work out what you love best and if reds are like for you and stuff. That's why I love them. I think they're great. They just come out with face powders as well, like the blush and highlight situation. I think I picked up 2 shades, but it's coming in the haul, so you'll see all of that soon anyway. I'm just waiting on one thing to arrive. Things are obviously just delayed because, well, you know. So next up we have the it used to be I Heart Makeup, it's still old packaging this, but it's now I Heart Revolution. So this is the Goddess of Love Triple Baked Highlighter in Goddess of Faith, and this is good. So basically what I have on the face from the palette basically matches these. So they are Makeup Revolution's sister company. I think they have a few of them, but let me just like show you. For instance, I'm going to show you, let's show you Ugly Naked Guy, Mr. Heckles and Estelle from the palette, which look like so. And then, oh god, I have all fingerprints on that now. And then from this highlighter here, we have these. So you can see it has that same effect. Very wet, not glittery, super pretty. Like I said, I have a few of these and they all run really good. So yeah, like if you're looking after for a certain shade, like you want a more whitey highlighter or a more pink one, you will not be disappointed with these. These are really good. I know the packaging's a bit bulky, like that Too Faced kind of effect, but I mean, I can look past that because the product is so good. Like, yeah, I just absolutely love it. Yeah, you see, like that has that same effect. So beautiful. So now I have a few like I think these are lip products. Now I have an eye pencil here. So this is from Nip and Fab, and this is the eye pencil in nude. I love this. I could have worn this today, but I was like, no, I don't want to put anything in the waterline. Yeah, again, just a nude eyeliner, just really pretty nude eyeliner from the drugstore. Fantastic. Doesn't, you know, bleed, doesn't do anything weird. It's just great. And then I also have the Revolution brow pencil, I think it is. Maybe like the micro brow pencil in light brown. Excuse me, sorry. I swallowed a fly. Like I said, I typically do go for taupe, but I went for light brown because it's all that they had, but it's a really good shade match actually. Yeah, again, it's similar to the NYX one, but this is more affordable. And they pretty much do the same thing. They do the same thing as the Anastasia ones. Like, they work all the same in my opinion. Don't get me wrong, Anastasia is beautiful to have, but if you're like looking for something for like every day, like obviously you don't want to drop 15 quid, this is great dupe. Like for £4, it's fantastic. Then we have the Rimmel, this is a long ass name, it's like wearing off, the Lasting Finish 1000 Kisses Contouring Lip Pencil in the shade 011 Spice. So this is what she looks like. She's like a pinky brownie sort of colour, really pretty. Yet again, doesn't like, it just sort of glides on, like it's not rough or, you know, it doesn't feel weird on the lips, stuff like that. Just a great lip pencil. This is the only one I've tried. Like, this shade is like good, so I don't know what the other ones are like, but I love that shade. Then we have this from Makeup Revolution. So this is the Rose Gold lipstick in Chauffeur. And I was going to wear this, but I thought I'd pick this one today because, I mean, it's literally £1. And this, oh my god, I'm trying to show you this now. Can you see this? Right there. This is what she looks like. She's super, super pretty. I love this shade. They do have a few different shades. They have loads of different ones in different formulas and stuff. So, you know, you can pick what's best for you. But these are really, really good. Then to finish it off, we have the Revolution Lip Topper in Exquisite. I think that's how you pronounce it. And it's just a pretty lip topper. Kind of reminds me of the Fenty Gloss Bomb Situations. But like more pigmented, I'd say. Where are we? Here. Really, really pretty. I absolutely love these. I believe I have all the shades that they have. Like I said, they have like shimmer bombs. Let me just show you the shimmer bombs. What drawer are they in? So I have like these. So these I'd say are more like glossy, juicy kind of lip. And this is like more like a topper. Kind of like, I'd say like these are like a mixture of the Fenty ones. I'd probably say this is closer to Fenty maybe, and this is probably closer to the Jouer lip toppers. Yet again, really, really beautiful. So are these. I mentioned that with the Rachel gloss. But yeah, really, really beautiful. So that was everything. Hopefully you enjoyed this video and it was a little bit helpful in finding some, you know, great drugstore products. If you're like, I just want to buy one thing to, like, you know, treat myself, I'd say either go for the Revolution Brow Tint or go for the little e.l.f. palette. So good, really affordable, just great makeup. So yes, I hope you enjoyed. What have I got coming? I've got a haul coming, and then I've got some Doll Beauty makeup to play with. So we should be doing like a 3-in-1 situation with that, like a 3 looks in one. Don't really know what I'm going to do just yet, but yeah, I hope you enjoyed.